While cleaning out his wallet one afternoon, Mark stumbled across an old library card. Dusty and worn, it seemed to whisper stories of his childhood, a time when he would eagerly flip through pages, lost in the worlds of different characters and adventures. Memories came flooding back, the smell of books, the sound of pages turning, and the tranquil atmosphere of the library filled his mind. He couldn't help but smile, but a wave of hesitation soon washed over him. When was the last time he had stepped inside a library? The thought of those missed years made him feel a little sad. Yet in that moment, he felt a flicker of curiosity ignite within him. Could he really reconnect with this passion he once cherished so deeply? As Mark examined the card closely, he recalled weekends spent browsing the aisles, filling his arms with novels and stories that fed his imagination. Life had gotten busy, work, responsibilities, and the distractions of modern life had nudged reading aside. But the spark he felt now was different. It was a gentle urge to rediscover that part of himself. He thought about the countless adventures waiting in those forgotten pages and wondered if a visit to the library could lead to more than nostalgia. What if, just maybe, stepping back into that space could help him find excitement and joy in his daily routines once again? The question began to marinate in his mind, making it hard to resist the pull toward the library. With each passing moment, Mark's excitement grew. It wasn't just about the book filled walls, it was about the potential for self discovery and change. Visiting the library could be the first step toward rekindling old hobbies that sparked joy within him and exploring new interests he hadn't considered before. He imagined the warmth of a librarian's smile, the sound of a book being checked out, and the inspiration waiting to be found in the quiet corners of those shelves. Taking a deep breath, he decided it was time to step beyond the comfort of his routine and into an adventure that promised simplicity, discovery, and perhaps a little magic. In that instant, the forgotten card became more than a relic of the past. It transformed into a ticket to a new chapter of his life, filled with possibilities. As Mark pushed open the heavy doors of the library, a rush of memories flooded over him. The moment he stepped inside, he was greeted by the familiar sight of towering shelves packed with books, each one holding untold stories of adventure and wonder. The distinct smell of aged paper surrounded him, wrapping him in a comforting embrace. It felt as though he had walked into a sanctuary, a place where time stood still and the outside world faded away. With every step, he felt a wave of calm wash over him, mixed with excitement at the sheer number of choices before him. Would he choose a mystery that made his heart race, or perhaps a heartfelt romance that made him reflect? As he wandered through the aisles, Mark's heart began to quicken. Each book title seemed to call out to him, rekindling a passion he had long left behind. He picked up a novel with a colorful cover, the familiar weight of the pages feeling comforting in his hands. It was as if he was walking through a portal to his past, where stories had once filled his childhood with imagination and joy. The allure of adventure and the thrill of a new narrative were tantalizing. He glanced around, noticing the cozy reading nooks and the gentle whispers of fellow book lovers. The library was alive, and he felt a sense of belonging, a connection to all those who had walked these aisles in search of stories that would inspire and uplift them. Suddenly, Mark noticed a librarian organizing a display of new arrivals. Her presence radiated warmth and enthusiasm, and Mark felt drawn to her energy. When their eyes met, she greeted him with a genuine smile that made him feel at home. She seemed to sense his excitement and encouraged him to explore the latest selections, suggesting books that would spark his imagination anew. In that moment, Mark realized this visit could mean more than rediscovering an old passion. It could be the catalyst for small changes in his life. He felt a renewed sense of purpose bubbling within him, ready to reignite that love for reading and perhaps transform his everyday routine into something richer. The library wasn't just a place of stories. It was a haven for rebirth and discovery, and Mark was ready to embrace it all. As Mark wandered deeper into the library, he felt the atmosphere shift. It was in that quiet corner, surrounded by stacks of books, that he met Sarah, the librarian. Instantly, he could sense her passion. It radiated from her like a warm light. With a bright smile and sparkling eyes, she greeted him as if she had been waiting for his return. Their exchange began with simple pleasantries, but as soon as Sarah learned about Mark's long absence from the world of books, her enthusiasm awoke something inside him. She was excited to share her favorite hidden gems and suggested titles that captured her heart. Mark found himself entranced, as if he had stepped into a realm of possibilities that he had overlooked for years. Sarah didn't stop at just recommending books. She encouraged Mark to explore genres he never considered. You might be surprised, she said with a playful grin, that a good sci-fi novel could spark your imagination just as much as a classic romance. Her words flowed effortlessly, filled with examples of stories that turned ordinary lives into extraordinary adventures. With each new suggestion, Mark felt his curiosity grow. Their conversation was full of laughter and thoughtful exchanges, igniting a spark within him. He realized that Sarah was not just a librarian. She was an unlikely mentor, offering guidance and opening doors to new ideas and experiences. Each book she mentioned felt like a new path, ready for him to explore. As they talked, Mark began to reflect on how the routine he had slipped into had stifled his creativity and joy. With Sarah's encouragement, he started to envision a life rich with stories and ideas. The excitement in her voice inspired him to step outside his comfort zone and try things he had previously dismissed. He could feel the possibilities expanding before him, as if each book held the key to a new passion or hobby. Mark left the conversation feeling invigorated, ready to embrace change and dive into the world of literature with a fresh perspective. He understood that sometimes all it takes is a connection with another person to ignite a fire within, leading to paths of self discovery and growth that he never thought possible. With a renewed sense of purpose, Mark set out on a reading journey that transformed not just his afternoons, but his entire outlook on life. He made a commitment to himself, dedicating a little bit of time each day to explore the written word. Armed with Sarah's recommendations, he began to venture into various genres, mystery, fantasy, and even memoirs that offered unique perspectives on life. As he turned the pages, he lost himself in captivating stories. Each book became a window through which he could see the world differently, igniting his imagination and fueling his desire for adventure. It was like rediscovering a long lost friend, and soon reading became a part of his daily routine. As Mark immersed himself in these narratives, he stumbled upon familiar classics that brought back a wave of nostalgia, alongside new literary worlds that challenged him in ways he hadn't expected. Characters leaped off the pages, their emotions resonating deep within him. He found himself thinking about the struggles of a hero in a story when faced with challenges in his own life. The lessons and themes woven into each book began to inspire small changes. Mark started to apply new ideas and perspectives to his everyday experiences, nudging himself out of his comfort zone. He began to reflect on his conversations, considering different viewpoints rather than simply sticking to his own. This shift in perspective reignited his curiosity about the world around him. As weeks went by, Mark's transformation became more evident. Reading was no longer just a pastime. It had woven itself into the fabric of his life, shaping the way he approached challenges and cherished moments. He shared exciting book recommendations with friends, sparking discussions that deepened his connections. Each story motivated him to try new hobbies, like joining a local book club where he could share thoughts with others who enjoyed reading as much as he now did. Mark realized that this journey of pages was not just about reading. It was about embracing life in all its complexity, opening himself up to the richness of diverse experiences. With each book he read, he found not only entertainment, but also a path towards self discovery and a life filled with possibilities. As weeks passed by, Mark began to reflect on how that one small change, his decision to revisit the library and make reading a priority, had transformed his life in unexpected ways. He noticed that he was more engaged in conversations, eager to share thoughts about the books he was reading. The enthusiasm he felt while exploring various themes and characters seeped into his daily interactions, making him more present and connected with those around him. This newfound passion not only reignited his sense of joy, but also sparked creativity within him that had long lain dormant, creating a ripple effect that touched every aspect of his life. Mark realized that his approach to work was changing, too. As he absorbed different perspectives from his reads, he began to see challenges in a new light. Problems that once felt overwhelming now appeared as opportunities for growth and innovation. He started to take risks at work, suggesting new ideas and engaging with his colleagues in a way that was collaborative rather than just transactional. The confidence he gained from this reading journey made him feel bolder, and he found that his team often responded positively to his fresh energy and enthusiasm. This shift in mindset made him feel fulfilled as he discovered the power that literature had to shape his thoughts and actions. More importantly, this journey became a source of clarity for Mark. He began to prioritize time not just for reading, but for himself, setting aside moments to reflect and recharge. As a result, he felt happier and more centered. Even with the busyness of life, carving out time for stories served as a reminder to savor each day. His relationships also blossomed. He formed deeper connections with friends who were inspired to join him on this reading adventure. What began as a spontaneous visit to the library evolved into a lifestyle shift that filled his days with purpose, joy, and a renewed sense of self. Mark discovered that sometimes the smallest changes can lead to the most impactful transformations, guiding him toward a richer, more fulfilling life. As Mark sat comfortably in his favorite reading nook, he reflected on the journey he had undergone since that fateful day he found the old library card. Each book he read had opened his mind to new ideas and adventures, teaching him lessons about empathy, courage, and the importance of stepping outside one's comfort zone. With every story, he had not only rediscovered his love for reading, but also unveiled parts of himself that had been hidden away for too long. This introspection filled him with gratitude and excitement for the paths still ahead of him. What other literary treasures awaited him? What new friendships might blossom from the pages yet unread? Inspired by the connections he had made with Sarah and others at the library, Mark felt a strong desire to give back to this community that had welcomed him so warmly. The idea of volunteering sparked a flame within him. He imagined helping others find their own stories, encouraging them to explore new genres, and perhaps even sparking a love for reading in someone just like him. Volunteering would be a way to share his insights and discoveries while also forming new connections. Mark realized that working in the library would not just enable him to help others, it would also deepen his own understanding of literature and life. This next chapter in his life felt like an adventure waiting to unfold. As Mark stepped into the library, once more, he was filled with enthusiasm and purpose. He recognized that this journey of self-discovery was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. The experiences he gleaned from both reading and engaging with others had empowered him to embrace change. His life had transformed, reminding him that even the smallest shifts could cause significant ripples in one's journey. With every new book he explored and every person he met, Mark understood that the adventure of growth continues throughout life. Each moment is an opportunity for learning and connection, a reminder that our stories are always being written. In this uplifting conclusion, Mark stepped into his new role, ready to inspire others on their paths to self-discovery, knowing that the next chapter of his life would be just as exciting as the last.